Like I feel like we need like some kind of like lead into the podcast, like some like hey baby, check out my hot pod. I'm gonna lay down a hot steamy pod.
Please God, make me relevant. Love me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Dustin.
And I'm Corey.
And we are the Couch Play Cousins. Today's episode is PC gaming, but not really from the perspective of like the master race PC gamers. We're sort of just coming into the PC world, you and I think.
Really feeling it out.
Yeah, and so, we're still like on that, I guess, that first date, sort of relationship.
We haven't got the second base yet, is
right.
What he's saying.
Exactly.
There's no groping going on.
So
we're trying.
I don't know how you play your games, but before we begin, I think we should make something clear, because I was listening to the last podcast and I realized that we kind of sound stupid, and I don't think we ever established that we are drinking. Okay, so before we start this podcast, we get relatively buzzed, right? Let's just say buzzed, and then we are drinking throughout this podcast. So don't judge us entirely by our like intellect, because we're just a couple of flawed humans that are getting drunk.
Basil Hayden's Smooth, Oaky.
Yes,
your checks in the mail.
Brought to you by Basil Hayden's Smooth.
Please give us money.
So today's topic is PC gaming, and I kind of wanted to start, Corey, talking about our experience and our position that we currently have in the PC realm. So I know you have been, we're constantly, we're more consistently console gamers.
Absolutely.
I think that's at least fair to say. Like,
we definitely have our roots in the console gaming. Absolutely. I agree with that.
But we've just recently been getting into the PC gaming. And I would actually say that you probably more so than me, because you've got your like whole fucking desktop setup, and you have your Steam crew, and I'm still like just like a little loser on a laptop with like no Steam friends at all.
I went from basically 0 to like 100 instantaneously. It's like fuck weed, let's do heroin.
Corey's famous. I get a little nervous when he enters the room. Basil. So we're kind of coming at this topic from a console gamer's perspective. But I can say at least right off the bat that like I've definitely seen some pros and cons in both directions. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I don't know, but like I said, you have kind of like you got like a whole
RTX 2070 31-inch curved 120 frames per second.
Yeah, he's like one of those douchebags that like he doesn't like you don't have like you like just started, but like you're like I got like the best card and all this, and I'm just like on last year's 1080.
More ports than your body has room for.
But I'm just on like a little Alienware laptop.
Peasant.
Yeah, I paid the Alienware tax. I'm an idiot. But you've got like the whole desktop setup and everything. So, and you've been playing a lot more Steam games and stuff like that, and experimenting more than I have, because I'm a little Nintendo bitch. I've been stuck on that.
Steam's been like amazing to me. I was like, look at all the savings and all these games. Like,
that's how they get you, man.
I'm telling you, all the indie games on it. Like last podcast, we talked about indie games. Like it just really popped my cherry when it comes to indie games. There's so many on Steam now. I've spent literally an hour yesterday just combing through all the games. Yeah. All the games. It's just so amazing.
Well, so let's talk about that actually, since you bring that up. So let's actually kind of talk about the transition that we've had from console to PC. Like what?
All right.
I don't know if you want to start and dive into it, because you kind of just started going off right there. But like what's been your experience going from? I don't even know if maybe you want to start off like explaining like where you kind of come, like what your background with the systems are, and like what kind of motivated you to get into PC gaming.
So my drive with gaming my entire life has been just playing with friends. I harken my gaming days back to lugging my fucking big brick Xbox and my Halo games to all my friends' houses, and just doing that sweet split screen action. And because of that, my entire drive has been following it. I dabbled with PC gaming a little bit with yours truly over here with the original Planet side. Yes. Star Wars Galaxies absorbed my life for probably a year. If it's still alive, check it out. Good game.
This is you're going way back.
I know, but you got
when you said Planet Side, I remember playing that game with you back in the AOL modem days.
Yes, the dial-up.
I had my gateway computer. It was such a piece of shit. But anyway, I'm going on. I'll let you go.
But yeah, like I said, then that brings me truly throughout my life all the way back to present day. I literally own every mainstream console. I own everything, and I'm not going to list them out. I'm just going to say fucking everything. I own them all.
He does. And he owns multiple PS4 Pros.
Duplicates of them. But the whole point is, my friends, their infinite wisdom after, me jumping to every single console just so they would spend time with me, decided to jump to PC. So, you know what? Fuck it. Now I'm a PC gamer, and I'm an all-or-nothing person. I found it out about myself, so I don't just go, I'll get a little PC laptop. No. RTX 2070 madness all out the wazoo.
How much do you think you spent?
Oh, man.
Is this like a written rule, like never ask a PC gamer how much he spent on his
My build was an iBuyPower $1,700. Good deal. I saved maybe $500 because I got it on sale. But a Predator screen, it overclocks to 160 hertz. Something just madness. But I'm very much more of I want to buy it once and I want to enjoy it for an extensive period. I'm not much of a max out person. This is probably going to be my setup for probably next 5 years, unless something breathtaking happens. But I don't want to upgrade incrementally. I'm just going to drop 2 Gs on something and be happy with it. And that's my kind of philosophy.
We just lost like half of our listeners out there that have like, fuck these guys. They're like fucking preppy douchebags.
It's called a credit card.
Fucking. Yeah, we should mention he's incredibly in debt.
Please help me.
Okay. Well, so I mean, talking about mine, I wasn't even going to go back into the day of the Planet Side days. More recently, like kind of keeping theme here is that I had, I'm like Corey, I have kind of everything. I have PS4, I had Xbox, I have, of course, Switch, and then I actually didn't have PC at the time, and then I sort of realized that I was playing Xbox less and less as some of these other things came out, and then
there goes our sponsorship.
Well, yeah. Well, I sort of sat down and thought about it, and once Microsoft, like they've been, kind of entering this current generation with this whole, let's do like cross-platform. We're gonna launch on PC and Microsoft and Xbox, and we're gonna cross-play and all this other bullshit. And I sort of saw that. Well, like, why do an Xbox? Why not? Like, I ended up getting rid of my Xbox.
Traitor.
Yeah, and and then using some of that money to get a laptop. I also sort of feel like it's like, you have a lot of issues that bog down the console counterparts, right? Like you have like frame rate and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And PC, you have options to sort of change your resolutions and everything like that. So it sort of allows you to adapt your system to that, game, whatever it is you're playing. And so I kind of sort of got invested in it. And then I realized you can sync up your Xbox controller and everything. And now it kind of just feels like a mobile Xbox.
Like, what's the point?
Right.
Like, what is the point in having a fucking Xbox if everything you play, you can play on PC?
And that actually kind of brings me to the next point. Like, yeah, like, what, especially with Xbox's or Microsoft's their new plan of action or whatever.
The streaming services.
They're going to streaming services, but they're like they sort of cross-platform everything now, and or at least cross-release at the very least. So
they've identified streaming as the future, and if no one believes that, then you got your head in the fucking sand.
Oh yeah, well it seems like they're less and less interested in the hardware side of things, and they're more so get our software any way that you want. We just want you playing our games. And so it sort of begs the question, and that's why I got rid of my Xbox to begin with, was because, well, fuck it. I like half of their library, at least the good shit, is on the PC, and I can have the options to, adapt my system to the game to get the best performance out of it. And even by default, you'll get a better performance out of like this stuff, as long as you have like a newish card.
Look at the new things coming out. You got your Xbox Series X, you got your PS5. They're both, touting performance and whatever. If you had a PC this entire time, you'd be still laughing at them. Mm-hmm. It doesn't fucking matter whenever you can play both on the same thing.
Right.
Just why keep buying Series Xbox console number 5 when you just had a PC? You're making like the perfect point where all along just get a PC and you're done.
Well, I think and that actually gets to a point about like the impact of next gen and everything, which we'll get to later, but that does actually kind of play into that point. But yeah, it's just for now, I sort of looked at it as, well, why am I going to get, like, why invest in an Xbox if PC is going to have pretty much all the exclusives that come to Xbox are like, it's Microsoft, so they're going to PC. Now, I mean, I'm sure that there's differences between, pricing and everything like that, and the barrier to entry, so to speak. So I get that, but beyond that, like, there's a lot of maybe.
I think you brought up the point, the exclusives, man. It's all about the exclusives in the end.
Yeah.
Look at the next series of PS5 or whatever. Ghost of Tsushima, all these other games are coming out. Godfall. Yeah. Exclusives.
Well, that's a PlayStation game.
Yeah, PlayStation 5. I'm talking about exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, it's all about the exclusives in the end. All the hardware is going to become this homogenous, blah, 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 blah. It's all the same in the end.
Yeah.
It's going to be exclusive in the end. Your Netflixes, your Hulus, who's got the series you like, you know? So, in the end of the day, it's going to be red shirt, blue shirt. Who's got the stuff you want?
Right. Well, yes. And I think so. That actually, you know what? This kind of transitions us into like let's kind of focus on that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the pros and cons between Xbox and PC. And like I can like personally, like, okay, so first off, there's an issue of price.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's actually probably one of the bigger barriers between gamers, right? Like, and it's one thing that console offers, like an easier entry to that.
Okay.
To gaming than PC does, because let's be honest. Like, I mean, an average gaming, like even if you go to the laptop,
no one's gonna sink more than no one wants to sink more than $500 on a console.
And that's one of the things that like pricing issues that like when consoles come out, like most consoles sell for a loss because they want to try to make it affordable for the average Joe.
They make most of their money back up, and honestly, PlayStation Plus, Xbox Gold, that's where the money makers are.
Well, the licensing too.
Yeah,
like for companies to get on board with their platform, they charge an immense amount of money to do that for licensing purposes. But yeah, so like, I mean, but even if you go even some of the cheaper PC options, like you're still talking about like, let's say like roughly a grand.
You're dropping a G easy.
Right. So, and there's a lot of people out there that maybe they just can't do that. So I think that would obviously be one of the cons. And then of course I have to say it, like another one of the cons is the Windows 10 interface that sort of comes with it. And I'm not even going to mention Mac, because if you're gaming on a Mac, you're just an idiot. I like, come on. But
shooting yourself in the face.
It really is a bad investment. So, but the Microsoft interface, like I can't tell you how many times, like, and because at the end of the day, this is an actual computer. It's like a workstation. It's not just a gaming platform. It's just that you're, so like when you buy a PC, one of the first things that you have to do is get rid of all the bloatware bullshit. Like once you get it.
Yeah.
And whereas like gaming consoles, they're dedicated consoles. So like you get it, they have their own operating system. So there's sort of that ease of use. It's that plug and play system that PC really just doesn't have. Like you need to like go and download Steam.
You got a perfect point here.
Yeah.
Think about this. Like I have a perfect example.
Of course I have a perfect point.
Perfect. And I'm going to go straight nerd so anyone can understand my dialect here.
Here we go.
I got 2 SSDs that I threw into the computer, solid state drives. These are more efficient memory.
I thought you were talking about venereal disease.
Yeah, I got plenty of that. But I'm proud of it too. Yeah. So I spent the better part of 3 hours making sure that my Windows partition and my gaming side of things were separated. Yep. So my Windows is a 3-second startup and the rest of my stuff is on my bigger drive. And that was a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, nobody wants to do that.
No.
I didn't want to do that. I hated it.
Right.
But that's just a perfect example right there.
Yeah. Exactly. I think I actually remember when I got my PC, and this is actually another problem. Because like a lot of people talk about like, oh, the red screen of death and all this shit that comes with consoles, but like PCs are like like times that by fucking 10, and that's what you can get.
Welcome
with
to the Thunderdome, bitch.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then customer support, like forget about it half the time, depends on who you're dealing with, I guess.
Google.
But, oh yeah. But the first PC I had actually had issues with the screen, so I had to send it back, and I was out. It took like about 2 weeks to get my computer back. And they replaced the screen, but they also erased the interface because that's like a fucking like apparently that's just the thing. That, like if somebody sends in a computer to get fixed, you just erase it. Like it doesn't matter. Like it could be like, hey, my keyboard's sticking, and they'll be like, oh, okay, reboot, you douche.
I'm telling you, when I was doing the SSD stuff, I hard reset literally the operating system 4 times to get it set up. And if you want. You're driving all the points home here, man. Like, if you just want plug and play, console's where it's at.
Yeah.
And, if you go on PC, prepare to slam fuck your face several times before you enjoy your sweet gaming experience.
But I do think that there's obviously some pro sides to the PC gaming world. I mean, beyond performance, right? Because that's the easy answer. Like you say, like, oh, like you get better frame rates and shit. But I don't know. Sometimes I just want to like punch those people in the face. But I think like so talking about another pro, like I actually wish that consoles would do this. And the big thing for me with PC is I love the fact that it sort of transcends the generation, right? So like you can still. Like on a PC, go play the original Portal.
Yeah,
which is a great game. But like on like a PS4 or like an Xbox One or Switch, whatever it is, you'd have to wait for that game to be ported. Like there's games that came out last gen on Xbox 360, on PS3, and then the fucking bullshit Wii U that like people are waiting or hoping for ports.
You mean like backwards compatibility?
Backwards compatibility is essentially what I'm talking about, but it's essential like and that's what I mean. Like it transcends that. Like PC games, like you download it as long as your system has the minimum requirements and the game is like supports the new operating system, like it will run. It will function today the same way that it functioned, 20 odd years ago. And I wish that like new systems would adopt that sort of infrastructure. Like I wish that I could play. I mean, I know that that's like a thing coming in the next gen and everything, but like just that simple. Like when you log onto Steam, you download a game, but when you go to or when you find a game, you roll down to the system requirements, and it says like, oh. You need to have this operating system. You need to have this much RAM and shit. Like, and I wish the consoles would actually adopt that system and just like sort of be cross-generational and just say, hey, these are the requirements and operating system and everything and system that you really need, but the games are still there if you have it. And that's
you just want to reach your old games, you old fuck.
I do.
Tomba, come back, please.
Well, like, yeah, but no, like seriously, I think that that's such a big thing. And I mean, that's at least the thing that I find most interesting about the PC world is like beyond the power and everything. It's that I have access to my entire library no matter what. I could get a new PC, it could be a completely different model, but I have access to my entire library of games.
Well, that just raises a good point. If you're thinking about it, you just brought up the library. You want to see my library? My console library is whole hard disk. Yeah. It's literally hundreds of games physical copy taking up space.
Yeah.
And my PC library, 0 space, all on Steam. I've literally uninstalled and reinstalled games over and over again.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
So this sort of goes into the digital aspect and everything. And I think that like a lot of people like talk about digital as like preservation and everything, or physical, like for preservation. There's a lot of people out there. And I'm actually kind of one of those. Like I'm a proponent for like physical games and like preservation and everything. But I actually make an exception for PC just because of that transcend like sort of infrastructure that it has. Like I don't have to really worry about the game going away or going offline when it comes to PC, because you can put that on your own hard drives. Like you can store that and back that up on disks if you so please. And it also doesn't matter what system you're running it on, as long as you have the support for it.
You should see me and my fiance. She's like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. She gets a fucking disc and she's like, my precious. And she wants the physical copy. She loves the nostalgia of the physical copy, where I could give a damn less. Absolutely. I'm running out of space.
Well, yeah, but I do see both sides as someone that kind of like is on the fence about it. Like I'm a proponent for it, but at the same time, I kind of give a fuck. But and you know, there's certain platforms that make more or less sense for it. But at the same time, I mean, PC just has it like I said, like PC, it doesn't really matter, like it, because it's not about the system that you're on, and you don't have to worry about like, oh well, when the system goes offline, because that's like one thing that physical people always say is that like, I want to have access to my games like 20 years.
Nuke drops on USA, you know.
Like, which of course, like how about let's talk about your fucking battery? Like after 2 hours, there's things done anyway. Exactly. Anyway, so
but in case the internet dies, I want to have a hard copy.
But I do think that like there definitely like there is a case to be made, and I think that's fair. But PC, it doesn't matter so much. I mean, like save for the fact that optical drives are kind of going away, but beyond that, like again, it's you still have access to all those games. Those games aren't really going away because they're really just about the operating system. And again, you can back up your own files.
Yeah,
you can make that decision.
No, I like with the hard disk, there is a certain concept of a lot of the data, or at least used to be on the disk.
Yeah.
Now everything's on the cloud. Even with the disk, it's all on the cloud.
Right.
But back in the day, your information was on the disk and you own that data. Now you buy a disk and it's half the game.
Right.
So there's no benefit even more to saying, well, this game is mine. Well, try to use it without the internet. So, you know, that's transcended that.
Well, okay, so, I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff we could say about that, but we do got to move on a little bit because we got a couple other things to talk about. We are running out of time, but, you know what, and a real quick side mention too, like, I don't know if you've seen things like, have you seen, like, the CES 2019 that just occurred? They announced two things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one was already announced, I guess, before, but one was the Alienware.
Oh, yeah,
concept UFO.
Yeah, a little handheld action.
It's like a literal copy of the Switch.
Except
it's just bigger. Yeah, and it's like PC, which I think it's neat. Like there's a lot of people out there that will get like all pissed off about like copycats. Like there's a lot of like brand fanboys and girls out there and whatever about like, oh, well, my system, and they, like, I don't understand that.
Imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery.
Right.
If it's good,
which
people will do, you know, the same.
You sound so much like me. And there we go. But no, I think the thing is like, as the consumer, like, none of these companies give a fuck about us. So, like, I don't understand when people defend or whatever it is, but I actually think that this thing would be really cool. I'd like to see it come to market.
There's plenty of, like, indie games, and people don't understand. Like, I'm telling you, just dip in a toe. Look at Steam and look at all the indie games you can grab, and imagine those on the go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that would be just terrific.
Yeah, plus, I mean, if anything, it's going to push someone like Nintendo or any other company, Sony or Microsoft, or I guess not Microsoft, but like someone like Sony to like actually step up their game and like get on the fucking roller coaster. Here,
competition breeds excellence.
Yeah. So you have like something like that, which is, I know that sounds completely irrelevant to everything we were talking about. I just kind of wanted to bring it up because I thought it was something interesting, and I know that there's been a lot of buzz about it lately, and I think it's kind of cool. I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day. Time will tell. But
I could see a niche for it. I don't see a big thing, but who knows?
Well, it's sort of like, I guess that kind of ties into like PC gaming on the go, and we're talking about the pros and cons of console gaming. But like, what about like the impact of cloud gaming?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, are devices like that even going to be necessary? Like, you know, with like the xCloud coming out, you've seen like the
Google
peripheral.
Stadia.
Let's take a moment and just laugh about it. Let's have a drink.
Yeah, cheers
to Google Stadia. You fucking didn't try. There we go.
One less sponsor.
Fuck them.
No, they really botched that.
Fuck them. It's only Google.
Yeah, really. You know, who do they own?
So, but like that's actually like one thing to think about. Like when it comes, we're talking about like consoles versus like PC gaming, and like. I mean, even like the specs, like you talked about how you like spec'd out your PC and everything, but like that stuff, all that shit might kind of go away here in the near future if they can keep up with like the latency and all these other issues, if they can hammer that out in like the next 5 years. If cloud gaming really becomes the thing, which I do think in like 5 to 10 years, that really may be the thing.
I agree.
Then this whole console war system just kind of goes out the window. And you can play anything, any game by any developer on the go.
It's going to become exclusives. It's going to become the Sony streaming service and the Xbox.
But then at that point, well, yeah, I guess because they'd probably all have their own exclusive.
Do you want Witcher?
Apps.
What Baby Yoda? What's your streaming service? I want both.
So, and I think that's something to consider too, like especially like in this generation, if you're considering switching over to PC, or if you're thinking about picking up the new console like the Xbox Series X, I don't know, like maybe it might make sense to like wait a minute because, well, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen for 5 years.
I think I agree. In my mind, 5 years is the benchmark.
Yeah.
So 5 years is a lot of time in gaming. That's a lot of time.
That's true.
We'll probably be dead by then. So,
how old are we?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean, you will. I'm going to live forever.
I'm going to live forever.
Yeah. I won't be fun, but
I'll wheelchair bound with a game console just strapped to your face.
I'll be the guy like, kill me.
But no, I agree. The future is streaming services and exclusives. And if I were to put a benchmark, Sony's got the exclusives right now, but who knows what the future holds.
Yeah. I remember when they announced the Series X at the Game Awards,
Mm-hmm.
my first thought was, that's neat, but I'm kind of more interested in xCloud and everything right now. Like, is it worth me investing $400 into a new system when A, I have a PC and I'll get most of those exclusives, but B, like if xCloud actually ends up being really good and they keep pushing that technology forward, you won't really need to get invested in any of these.
No, I'll be straight honest. Like, as someone who's drank the PC Kool-Aid and bathing in it, I saw the Xbox Series X and I was like, who gives a fuck?
Right.
I have a pretty high-end PC now, and there's no exclusives. There are no exclusives for the first 2 years coming out for Xbox Series X.
2 years? Is that what they
yes,
said?
no exclusives for the new console. None. So there's no fucking point for 2 years. You can get all of them.
Wait a minute.
I'm being on. Yeah.
So wait, what's that say about Halo Infinite?
It's going to be available for the Xbox.
Because it's PC.
Yeah, PC.
Okay.
So there's don't. I'm sorry to shit on your guys' parades, but there's no point in getting an Xbox Series X for 2 years if you already have an Xbox One X. There's no point.
In a parade full of shit.
There is no point. Now, granted, flip flop. PlayStation exclusives out the wazoo. Godfall's already marked as a exclusive PS5. There's the drive right there. You have your ticket, you have your urge right there, just go for it.
Well, I think that kind of reinforces what we talked about. Like, Xbox is like less concerned about the hardware and more about the software.
Precisely.
Which actually like is kind of cool. But I'm sure there's multiple schools of thought there. So anyway, that's about all the time we have for this episode. So thanks for tuning in. If you want, you can catch us on Twitter at couch_cousins.
Yes, don't forget that.
We just kind of opened that up, so feel free to follow us on that. If you do have any questions or suggestions...
Or hate mail. Especially hate mail.
Especially hate mail. You can reach out to us at couchplaycousins@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you don't mind, you know what, we are gonna start a Twitch eventually. We just kind of got to figure out a schedule to put to that because it is a big commitment. So it is on the docket, but we haven't yet started it. But beyond that, spread the word. Tell your friends about us. That's the best way that we're going to grow is for you to tell others that you think may be interested in this kind of bullshit.
Yeah. Spread us like the VD. Give us to ones you love.
Well, there you go. We'll catch you next time. I think the next episode, you know what I'd like to let's talk about, because we're starting to get old.
My joints already popping from sitting here.
I have to take a break to go pee.
My back hurts from sitting here.
Yeah. So next time, I think maybe what would be a good topic for us would be talking about sort of the older generation that we come from and kind of the current gen, next gen situation that we're in.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a lot of complaints about you new little bastards.
Wow.
Back in my day.
In my day.
My day.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. We'll catch you next time. So cheers.
Cheers.